A lot of things to digest, but of course, the final punch is that $25,000 prize pool. So for now, Austin, we got to get into what matchup is coming here for us because the schedule, we will have 3 matches for you on the evening. The first one up is going to be Oklahoma State going up against Colorado Boulder, their gold team. You're going to be joined with Proper McCormill for the second match coming through. That's going to be the Illini blue team going up against Roosevelt Green. And then we're going to have a battle for Colorado. We've got Colorado State going up against UC Boulder Black. So a lot of action happening, at least for us. This is the Southwest Region, Division A, at least to kick things off. So again, all the gloves are off. This is go time, baby. We're going to see exactly what we've got in front of us here, Austin, and it's going to be a really, I think, interesting map set as well for us as we get into this matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be good. We can take a look at the top here. We got Crossroads Hardpoint coming through first. Checkmate, Search and Destroy. We've got another Checkmate for Control. And then if need be, we're going to the map 4 for Garrison Hardpoint and Garrison Search and Destroy. So yeah, a lot of unique maps, I would say, for a whole coming in towards the pool, especially when we're talking about, things that have kind of evolved throughout the meta so far in towards Cold War. There's a good dynamic for as far as AR maps as well as some machine gun maps. We're talking about Garrison having that ability to be able to kind of at least show strengths in both departments based off what we have practiced for these guys. And you also said it, $25,000 on the line for these guys. Which means that there's got to be maybe a little bit more of an incentive to kind of go a little bit harder, especially leading up towards the season, right? If you're going to be on broadcast, I would at least have the assumption that you're probably going to have something prepared for us, a good amount of practice, and you're going to be coming in hot to be able to kick things off here for us for our first match.
The passion was at an all-time high. As soon as we were starting to announce what the prize pool was, everyone was kind of ready, like, okay, more teams this year, sure. $25,000. Nate Fiasco was out there like, let's get to the lab, boys. He was ready to go. He benched Mr. J Pistachio. You knew TD's in shambles right now, and I'm playing. But is this going to be really interesting because, for these two teams specifically, Oklahoma State, they were a team that kind of sat in the middle of their region throughout a lot of the year last year. But for the UCB guys, CU Gulp, brand new squad, at least as far as the CCL is concerned. So welcome. You're on the first stream of the season. No pressure whatsoever. But for Oklahoma State, this is a team that I think last year they really did kind of show their resiliency. It allowed them a chance to really kind of give a go at playoffs near the end of their season. And that's really good, I think, as far as being able to sit there and have your first year in the CCL during season 2, have some success throughout the back half of the year, and then be able to kind of, okay, we got that out of the way. Let's really tackle season 3. And they're in a division where, to be fair, kind of looking through, they have a really good opportunity to be near the top. One of the big dogs in this division is going to be Oklahoma State with Ottawa Gold. Everyone's been talking a lot about what Ottawa has to bring to the table, but also you've got University of Texas at Arlington and University of Texas in Dallas and Texas A&M Maroon White. So there are a lot of Texas schools that are in the mix, and let's be honest, most of them are looking pretty darn competitive going into this year. But for Oklahoma State, the big key, get into that top cut. It's a little bit of an easier path as far as potentially getting over to playoffs. Not a guarantee, but if you can start your season off on a high note, yeah, you're going to love to see that. And then the other side as well, for both of our Colorado teams that we're going to see from Colorado Boulder, can you also get your entrance into season 3 off on the right foot?
Yeah, that's definitely the big factor, getting comfortable as possible and never getting put in the position where, you start to feel really pressured for getting those wins. Because that's when we start to see, players start to go for those really desperation kind of plays and whatnot as we get farther and farther in towards all these games and in towards the season for it. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a change up, I think, for some of these guys. And coming back in, you have that experience. It's just all about, like you said, get off on that really high note. See if you can kind of get things going. And well, that's all going to start off for us going in towards Crossroads Hardpoint, where we're going to get to see some of that start to go and take place here for us. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good matchup for the simple fact that you're coming in, you have a couple of really hungry players, I would say, on the other hand here for the side of CU Gold, looking to see if they can get their names known. And that's also a big factor of being able to kind of get some things swinging your way as well. If you get a couple players that are popping off, get some good clips going up there, Alan, start to get maybe better scrims as well, being able to play against a better competition. Since there's going to be so many schools in the mix, it's going to be really, I think, difficult to maybe get practice with all of the top schools unless you can actually kind of prove yourself and make sure that you're worth their time. So that's also another reason for as far as getting off on that right foot and being able to come in hot here for us.
And the other thing, let's be honest, all of the guys that are kind of competing in the CCL, they love their power rankings.
Oh, they do.
It's going to be difficult this year to really set up a true top 25 because there are so many matches that have to come through. So these opening weeks, it's going to be a little bit hard pressed, I think, to get an accurate representation of what the top 25 looks like. But for both of these two teams, if they want to make an argument as far as why they might be one of the top 25 teams this year, you've got a chance right here. You know, don't be afraid. It's just a little bit of mainstream. Don't worry about it. We're ready to go. It's going to be a nice little raw reaction to see what both of these squads have to offer for us. And again, a crossroads strike for our opening hard point. SMGs, if you can take over this map, man, you'll be living in the wealth that could sometimes be that beautiful, excellent top 25 and beyond that, just the clips galore coming through. So, taking a look at CU Gold, it's going to be the side of Andrew, Bugs, Ezio. Oh, I love that. A little, maybe Assassin's Creed 2 reference. And then big criteria, but Oklahoma State, they come through with a near perfect feed. Actually, it is a perfect feed. All 4 members down. And Oklahoma State will be in a position to start playing for P2 spawns early. Yeah, they were keeping presence on the hill as well as getting some kind of an impact in towards the back behind P2. So an excellent start. This needs to be now CU Gold with a good break attempt, but Cash is being able to cash out on the point. Already got to it every single second. Another gunfight coming through. A complete wipe. They have control of the spawns. What an incredible start coming off the bat here for Oklahoma State. Really good stuff. 30 free seconds worth of time. Spawn club, like you mentioned, and only a single kill so far for Colorado Gold. And you need to find a way to start waking up just a touch. And here we go. There's a little hit coming through Catwalk. That'll do pretty well for them. On the backside, though, Dakota on 4 in a row, able to find himself a lockdown for now. But there is going to be enough of a challenge here for Colorado to find a way to get not just potentially into the back, but they actually could contest this early scrap, or pardon me, additional time here at P2. Yeah, it's the fact that they actually get all the way through and kind of fight their way towards the back is great. And there's a couple of kills that end up coming. And you wanted them to wake up, Alan. Well, they're starting to wake up here for us right now. That's great to get 15 seconds up on the board, but they don't read player 5 in the back. Royal had a chance to be able to maybe combine for 2, play for a potential flip. But with 35 seconds left, we're definitely going to get another attempt here coming through. And that's going to be 3 players down. Ninja finding just about every single one of them. So they will be able to battle back for the last 30 seconds on P2. Looking pretty solid. It's, again, very back and forth so far, and this is not bad, again, for CU Gold. You do okay, right? I mean, it goes to essentially 50-50 hard point. Really, the big difference maker is just what happened during the off-the-rig, your opening rip here. So, should be okay, and now you're in a position where you're, again, playing for the backside. This is going to be okay for them to not just lock down those P3 spawns, but they should be able to get a little bit further into this fire building and maybe even zone out some of the middle of the map. Oklahoma State is starting to threaten through ice. Ezio is number 3. He's actually watching this, so there should be an opportunity for him to lock down the back and get a read. Andrew needs to stay alive, and he will be able to do so successfully, but the play back is actually successful in getting through. So you'll have 50-50 spawns away from the hard point for now. Big criteria. Good to find himself 1 kill, and that should lock things back up for Colorado Boulder. Yeah, this is at least a great job of controlling all of the lanes, not allowing them to get in towards the back. That was a good kill that did end up coming through. And now Andrew inside of the hill is also shutting down the next push. There's still 30 seconds to fight for, but we always talk about this map being so heavily favored for P3, P4 when you're controlling the spawn. So they need to try and battle through, see if they can fight for the last 20 seconds and then push through. But once again, it's Andrew. How many double kills has he found so far in towards this P3 hill? It felt like way too many. And because of that, it's going to be still control coming through for the side on CU Gold as they get in towards the back. Jinja has to try and respond, but that's he's already set up for new to see if he can start collecting time. Really nice lockdown lane here with the M4, 3 in a row for him, and again, just about a 15-point gain. We are getting a little bit of a scrap battle, though, in the backside of this third hill. Spawns, will they be comfortable? Yeah, sure, why not? Because Ezio and Bugs are able to find a couple of kills. Criteria gets the third. So now an opportunity for CU Gold to actually put themselves initially in their first lead here in the CCL. Mark it down. History. This is coming through for us. It's going to be Oklahoma State trying to break from what is mostly this push back through the old time through 3. And Royal's going to find a way to maybe try to challenge, but gets cut down in the cross. And the ARs for Colorado Boulder have really woken up. My goodness. And it makes life a lot easier for your SMG players when you don't have to worry about taking a long-range gunfight. Yeah, I love this setup. I mean, they just wait patiently, right? They're not forcing the gunfights to come to them. They're not challenging out. They're simply just waiting and pre-aiming and playing off the trades. And yeah, the ARs end up finding multiple kills there. And look at this as well. They end up just giving over the last 15 seconds here. We talk about just having some of these heads up plays, and as much as Crossroads is a very small map, you can look to make these transitions. But Cash, he's in a prime position to maybe disrupt the entire play. Had the second one lined up, just can't exactly find the shot. So second kill won't be there. Spawn's still going to favor the side of CU Gold as they're looking to line up their next attempt to see if they can get into P1, but Jinja is shutting them down left and right. Yeah, he's looking pretty darn good. Again, now the SMGs, Oklahoma State, this is where they not only got clean wipe after clean wipe, but they really kind of established their presence, and a lot of it was based on these AK-74Us. So maybe it's just a P1 thing. Maybe they're just really good finessing around the tank. But as you see, Jinja and Cash is kind of roaming around the map right now. They're doing a really nice job of not just controlling space, but they're denying any even attempt for CU Gold to really even see the first hard point. This is not a hill that you see a lot of time on normally. And CU Gold, they will eventually break through, but it comes at a pretty steep cost.
Back and forth game, fighting for spawns. Prone player over here is going to be Cash. There's a call out for him, but Cash with the prone position will be able to find himself a kill. Trade has not been there, but he doesn't exactly have the full support on his side of the map, but he's got at least one of his teammates here off screen. That is going to be Royal. He has a chance to play for this flip, and Bugs has absolutely no idea. Now his teammates are dropping. He will go for that challenge, and Royal, with a massive win, will be able to lock things down in towards the back. So an excellent rotation will come through for Oklahoma State as they're back in control of P2.
Well, they still need to fight the way to get in. There's a lot of members for the Buffaloes here right up front and personal, but Dakota, Royal, they deal with all of them. Before I can even really say it into existence, they just completely get a full wipe. You've got one player still alive, and the Andrew down to the bottom. He might be able to start to influence a play from the back, but the problem is he's by himself. He doesn't have any help whatsoever. And Oklahoma State have now officially cemented themselves, not just the victors of P2, but they could potentially look for the better part of a full 60. Royal just going to town on Catwalk. One by one they come. That's easy pickings for the M4 of Oklahoma State, and that's going to lead to them now growing their lead back to some pretty significant differentiation. CU
Gold really struggling with a lot of this catwalk control, and this has been held by people like Royal and Cash, and we can see even the full rotation coming in towards the back. Look at those orange arrows. Once again, just getting themselves in from behind. Ezio almost found both. Royal now knows he's spotted and has to try and play his life as both teams actually kind of spawning out, getting those 50-50 foot race spawns, but that will be the big kill that comes in. Big criteria, able to get himself in for the kill. It's a battle in the hill. It's going to be Dakota somehow able to find out two. Staying alive long enough, but it will be once again a break. Coming right back as this game is neck and neck still for us, Alan.
I have to admit that this is a really, really competitive game, and largely for really the right reasons. I mean, we've seen some really good attempts at breaks. We've seen some really good attention put to the backside of the spawns. This is a pretty decent Call of Duty we're watching right here. Royal, again, on a cross. And when he gets an angle, sometimes it feels like there's just no one who can deal with him. Will that be the case here once more? He's 20 and 14. A lot of these kills that he's really enjoying had been in the last two hills. And now he's on 3 in a row, trying to find the fourth. Resets, tries to take the fight, but has good help from Cash. So Oklahoma State, they have been successful, not just contesting the third hard point, but they have broken for spawns going into 4.
They got to deal with Royal right now, Alan. He is not only on the 4 spree with 22 kills, but he's also soaking up time here. And this is just a great position. Another gunfight comes his way. He will get assistance from his submachine gun player, and his subs are doing a great job of roaming around in and around the hill, being able to fight for at least P3 control in and around that building. This has now worked out for them greatly, but there could finally be a hit. That was going to be player Andrew coming in, but he will also be shut down. This is a lockdown setup. We saw this last time. Oklahoma State just watching the crosses, just really doing a great job of controlling all the area, and Royal still on this spree trying to line up that 5th.
Well, it's going to be down to what happens in these final couple of moments, because you know Oklahoma State have been really good here at the first hard point. And just in the last rotation, they were not just good at the first, they were great at the second. And that's not great news for the Buffalo fans, because let's be honest, that would lead to a game loss. So you've got to be better here than you've did so far. 158-200 is where it'll stall. Nice kills coming through as, again, the AR is really coming to life here for CU Gold. That's CU on the zone for now, but have they lost focus on the back? Because you've got number 5 of Royal, and when he's pinned up somewhere, I'll tell you, he's hard to deal with. He's showcased that so far. He's on a couple in a row. Ezio, good. Able to take him out, but it's going to come at the cost of all of his friends on the hard point. So Oklahoma State stretching and continuing to build up towards 250.
And this is great time coming through for Oklahoma State, and you can see CU Gold realize this and want to try and fight for a bit of this time, at least take them off of it, but that's a good trade that ends up coming through. Andrew will be able to win out on the battle for the most part until the spawners come back through, and Royal does end up finding him himself. Big criteria himself has to now see if he can battle out for catwalk control, but Dakota manages to find his way through. Bugs feels very pressured in towards the back as no longer has all of that assistance here with them, and everyone swarming in and around him. Dakota with another one will be picked up, but he buys a bit of time, but not enough to flip out those spawns.
Okay, do or die time for the Colorado Buffaloes. Criteria up top in a position to where he's trying to lock down ice. I didn't know that Royal's down here, but you need to get this SMG inside the hard point, and now he's actually got to pop off. He's good for Jinja. Onto the zone he goes, but he's got to wait for teammates. Royal's going to try to contest it. Akratier looks the wrong way at the exact wrong time, but now the help is here. It's going to be a 3v3 for the hard point. Andrew trying to work his way in. Gets one player stuck in the corner, but Don't put Daddy in a corner, apparently. Ginger's able to fight his way out with Cash, and now all of a sudden Oklahoma State can win the game here.
Can win the game. There has to be a successful break, and you might have one chance to set up a coordinated team hit, and it's going to be coming through ice, and Cash finds 2. Royal finds 3 up top. And well, getting a little bit of a celebration from Cash right now as he's dancing in and around the hill. Just another 10 seconds to come through, and that will be enough. Jinja just pushing the lanes out, not allowing anyone close. Ezio finds himself a kill, but no time to get inside. And there you have it. That is going to be one heck of an opening coming through for Oklahoma State as they lock things down to win 250 to 180.
I don't know why I said don't put Daddy in a corner. Don't put Baby in a corner. This is a Dirty Dancing reference that, as a boomer, I need to absolutely lock down. I've already failed. I've already failed you, Austin. But look, again, I hate to say that we brought it up initially. You just can't let that much time happen on P1, right? I mean, that's really where the big kind of difference maker was when it came down to this matchup overall. Colorado Gold just let too much time go in the first hard point. I mean, they did pretty darn well to start contesting for the backsides, not just of P2, but also P4. So I think overall, you can't be too upset with how you played right there if you're Colorado. I would say it was just more of the impressiveness, not just from Royal locking down lanes, but also Jinja kind of working their way around and finessing what happens in front of the hard point itself, because that is difficult to take that much time away from the first hard point. We don't see that all that often. So you got to give credit where credit is due in my book.
Yeah, you definitely do. And I think there's just, a point in time where we're, long enough in towards the game that we understand crossroads to the point where you have to constantly get yourself, priority over P3 and P4 spawns. And the teams that I think are doing that, and the R's that are always putting themselves in those positions, like, are more often not going to be able to come out on top with those dubs. And we saw how they were being able to at least lock down the crosses, not allow people to be able to get in towards the back. And that's exactly what it takes to be able to take this map away. Even if you concede P2, you're still able to always work back in towards the game. So yeah, very, very tight one up towards the point where we finally saw P2 kind of just go one way towards one of these squads here, and enough to pull things out. But we go over towards Checkmate, Search, and Destroy, Alan. And this is such an interesting map, because you know how I felt about this map going in towards the rotation when this was announced. And now I feel like after watching it with no smokes and snipers, especially after a little bit yesterday within the challenger scene, it feels like it is really difficult on offense, obviously, but you have to take some kind of risk now. I'm realizing that in order to get some kind of map control right, you have to be willing to kind of trade something off, or at least take control of one side of the map to be able to open up opportunities towards one of these bomb sites, because so difficult to hit. You're never getting a plant down there unless it's maybe a 1v1 or there's really low numbers on towards the map. So everything basically kind of takes place inside of B, and more often than not, feels like a lot of these rounds just end up going down through kills and not so much bombs, right? So it is a very, very interesting map that is currently played out within this game mode for us here. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how some of the risk maybe comes in towards these offense with both of these squads and seeing what they have prepped.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I know you and we've talked largely on, like, Checkmate, Search, and Destroy. What do we have to say beyond win the plane, win the map? Because that's like what a lot of it has been. But it is interesting because for Search and Destroy, you can't just say win the plane, win the map, because the B bomb site, it's in the plane. And for the offense and defense, you're not likely going to be able to take the entirety of the plane away. So where is that extra lane going to exist? And you do have to make a little bit of a risky play. And the problem with that is you don't have the safety blanket of any kind of smoke to help execute on those risky plays right now. So things like stun checking, tossing out nades to see if you can gather information is actually more important than I think we've actually spent a lot of time talking on. It kind of reminds me of, like, how do you execute onto, like, the B point of, like, Ramaza from last year? Because there were so many different windows to check. And it's one of those things that stun check the middle. If you don't get any hit markers, you know they're in windows. If you get them on hit markers, you know they're not in windows. You just have to use that information as how you're going to be able to kind of execute over towards maybe an offensive push. So that's what we have in front of us here, that Checkmate, Search, and Destroy. But again, everything is listed up top there for you guys. Checkmate Control coming up for our map 3 for sure. And if Colorado Gold could find a way to take either of our two checkmates, we will at least see a Garrison hardpoint, if not a potential of a Garrison Search and Destroy in the back end. And this is, again, in case you're joining us here late, the first match here in the CCL Season 3. Exciting stuff, man. I really can't wait to see how we shake the tree and see what falls, because there are so many new schools, and beyond that, a lot of old names that have brand new rosters. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, to see how this season kind of breaks out for us.
Yeah, it's going to be really special, Alan. It's always a good time, especially when things start getting taken towards social media, start battling things out, little subtweets going out here and there, builds up these storylines here for us as we get in towards all the matches, and it makes things a lot more intense, right? Because all of these guys are fighting for the same thing. They want to be the best, they want to make it towards in the top of that 25 rankings and have a shot at $25,000 as we get towards the end of the season. So yeah, a lot on the line for all of these guys while also balancing school, which I think is something that
So
is
important.
not talked about, right? Like, I mean, it's like as much as we hear, a lot of people going over towards different schools, and I think esports now is starting to be taken a little bit more seriously, where there maybe is at least a little bit more of a balance in place for the students. At least we would hope with esports programs rising and coming through. But at the same time, they do have to kind of find that balance of doing school, being able to get all the assignments and stuff like that done, as well as practice, learn, get better throughout the season. So it really is a lot packed in towards all these guys. And until you, I think, go and do it, there maybe isn't exactly that perspective or realization of how difficult it could be. So yeah, something to I think really talk about that really wasn't talked about, I don't think, too much for the most part last year, especially with things being even more difficult, right? Being on Zoom and stuff like this. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how it all comes together.
Yeah, the online world has definitely made logistics of stuff like this maybe a little bit more difficult for students. But at the same point, you also have a lot more universities that are in the mix now this year that actually have like esports programs that
Yes.
are able to support, their aspiring competitive players. But we're jumping on it. It's a checkmate search and destroy. Oklahoma State currently up 1-0. But for CU Gold, can they find a way to showcase some search and destroy prowess to get themselves right back into this? And it's going to be OK State making their way right onto B. You've got Criteria nearby, and he's got to be a little bit careful because the Semtex is going to flush him out, and the second one will actually get the kill. And then over the top, Royal takes care of Bugs. Beautiful execution, like you mentioned.
And looks like everyone else might just end up dropping. Andrew is the last one. Manages to grab one before slipping away, but I mean, his position is known. Unless they're going to give him a couple of challenges, this one should certainly be locked up for Oklahoma State on their very first offense. But Andrew going to try to at least take down a couple of members if he can. Coming down to about 30 seconds. Dakota should have got the info, gives him the challenge. Andrew now works for the second kill, making things a 1v2. We'll have to go very quickly here, still wiring down to just about 20 seconds.
Royal on top of timing. Brilliant for Andrew. He's got 3. Looking for the ace. He's got Ninja. Oh my goodness, Andrew.
1v4.
That's one way to win a round. Oh my goodness, a 1v4. Are you kidding?
I feel like I gotta take some apologies here already, Alan. I was kind of chalking that one up, like, all right, he grabs himself one, but still a 1v3. And I was really going to come in towards this point and say how excellent of a job they did of getting that playing control. And you talked about having those stuns and nades, which are so important in the very first couple of rounds because there's no trophies, remember. So making sure you get good use of those to be able to get that information. It's great. They get 2 kills. They find the third. The bomb is down. That should be a round that absolutely ends up going over. But Andrew clearly having other plans. Doesn't even matter if he's only got a couple seconds left. He manages to clutch that one up and just steals the round away here coming in towards the first one.
Stay woke indeed, Andrew. Stay woke indeed. Wow, what a round. I wrote it off, brother. I mean, as soon as that execute came through, I was like, Oklahoma State's got this. They've got playing control. It's a 4v2. There's no way they lose it. Criteria, gonna get shot at, and my goodness, nearly drops. But that's enough information for Colorado to just bail out. Take a look over towards A. Defensively, Royal's going to be watching this from the tube. You see his X-ray right there to the right of Criteria. Tough angle to Chow, but he throws his shoulder, and he was maybe trying to hope that Ezio can get some shots in. He will not, but at least Criteria can pick up the M4 and see if he can find some more success that his teammate was not able to.
And his teammates need to find some value here. Need to find a kill. Cash might be that first one. I mean, the bomb is still over by A, so they have not made a full rotation over towards this B site, despite Bugs actually being locked in. And that's going to be a nice little cheeky angle. Bugs finds 2, reads both beautifully, and now it's going to turn things over towards CU Gold in favor of this 3v2.
And they know where Dakota is. Okay. Bugs says, I want whatever you had for breakfast, Andrew. You got 4 last round. I'm going to get 4 this round. And he very well may. Because Cash is going to find the kill. And Bugs is going to get the full ace. Who's up next? Next man up, please.
Wow. I mean, look at this little angle in towards the back here. Just gets enough of a glimpse of Royal, reads the second, and then Dakota here again. He's been very open to trying to go for these challenges. He did it in the last round, threw his life away. This time around, he tries to do the exact same thing from a different position, and Bugs just snaps on him. The ARs right now, Alan, they are just simply hitting different coming in towards this for CU Gold, and they are just stealing away around. Both players now back-to-back aces.
Good grief, man. Okay, Colorado. We see you. Next offense for Oklahoma State. Nobody wants to go mid-map this time. It's going to be Royal down low. He's actually carrying the bomb with the M4. Not often we see this happen. He's got Dakota with him. You know, looks like they just want to play on this cross angle, maybe to see if they can get over to A. But again, your cross is being held by your bomb carrier. So you're not thinking that this is going to be an execute back over to A, at least not immediately. Cash wants to try to play up top. Stuns and nades have already been tossed for him. A trophy that if he wants to try to keep this top side plane safe, and now here comes Royal as they try to approach onto the B site.
I would expect someone to bait for Royal here because he is the bomb carrier. There is the bait from Cash. Works through for the kills. They do it here again, so they have a great take of getting control of the plane. And look at the next two blue arrows here on the not in position to get towards this. This is another advantage coming through for Oklahoma State. Now they just need to clutch it in.
Andrew in the back has already made his position revealed. At Seal's working the other angle. He's the next man up for a full 4-man kill, right? But no, it's Andrew. He's going to keep this search and destroy looking really solid. But it would need to be an ace, and now a 1v3 plus a defuse required in only 20 seconds to do all of that. Good luck. Dakota's down low. You've got Royal to his right, Cash to his left. And he's going to be able to, okay, a little spinorama, finds the first. Where's the trade? Royal, he's just going to play the clock, and now there's not going to be a time for a defuse. So maybe a little bit of knee knocking going on right now for Oklahoma State. A little shaking in their boots, quite literally for the Cowboys, but they take care of it. They play the clock smart.
Yeah, they did. This time around, they're not going for those initial challenges. They know Cash has eyes on bomb. Just watch that cross. Make sure they're not giving over the lives there as much as they were doing there before. And yeah, that's definitely wiping the sweat off your forehead for sure, because, you know, I mean, those were 2 rounds that really should have been yours, right? Finding some advantages, grabbing some of these first bloods. And I mean, grabbing 3 out of 4, of course, coming off that first round here. So they finally get themselves at least on the board. I will say their B-bomb execute has been pretty on point. So there might have to be an answer going in towards some future defenses. But we switch back over towards offense coming through now for CU Gold. That's, you know, he's been the bomb carrier, has had a bit of a slow start, and none of the subs have actually really found any kills or any value. It's been all of the ARs. Andrew and Bugs, we're looking on them to see if they might be able to open up with a pick and then make an attempt towards one of these sites.
Much more patient here, really across the board for both teams. It's like 2 heavyweight fighters just coming out of the corners, just swinging at one another. Now all of a sudden they're a little tired from the first 3 rounds, and round 4 is a little bit more passive, a little bit more strategic. Andrew trying to make sure that Ezio stays safe. Bugs up top. This is a 3 AR setup, by the way, for Colorado. It's just Criteria, I believe, who's running the SMG, so got a lot of long range, but how are you going to clear the plane with the Krig is the real question. It was in my mind, and the answer is apparently you just don't. Andrew's trying to find the trade, able to take down Dakota. 1 shot to his name, though, has to stay alive, play the regen, and on the other side, you need big Criteria to pick up this bomb, which is still just on top of the wing. You see it there. Semtex isolating Andrew. Stays alive for now. Second gunfight not going to come through. Now they're working this together, but you have to go quickly. 15 seconds to play. It's going to have to be to B, and Jinja, he's able to respond to the player coming around the back, and then from the front, no problem. Oklahoma State take back 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, I think you touched on it beautifully there when we were looking at, you know, the setups that were coming through. The ARs obviously being great, but when you're making those initial challenges coming to retake this site, I mean, you have to have someone sliding in with a sub, and then you would typically like someone to be following up with the sub as well, right? At least 2 should be coming through here for us, so you give the option to even be able to pick that up as a secondary for your AR players if they end up dropping. But it has been, I think, a little bit more reliance on finding these kills and then giving them room to be able to work for a numbers advantage in towards the site. So execution not totally there, but a great bounce back, as you say. 2-2 trophy system coming down. Cash has been really good so far coming in and around this plane, finding value in offense and defense, but this time around it's actually Royal who will open things up on towards Andrew and take him down.
You know, the thing here for Oklahoma State, if we really wanted to be really simple about this, is this could and likely should be a 4-0 lead for you. It just player trades just a touch better when you get the opening numbers, because they have been near flawless, and I think they have actually been flawless in these 4 rounds for first blood. So once you get those numbers, can you just execute on them? And how about big Criteria? The big boss mode is he finds a couple opposite side of the plane, and so now it's just down to Cash. He would have to find a 1v3. Has the bomb to play with, and a lot of time to be fair here, Austin.
A lot of time, and we'll rewrap right under. Both players also not together, so this could be an isolated kill for Cash, and it is. He finds the second of the 3. Bugs, the last one left alive. coming down to about 30 seconds left on that clock, and that bomb will have to be planted if Cash can't spot him out, but he might spot him out here. Will not turn and look, and that will still be a kill that comes through. Getting a little bit close for comfort there, though, Alan, but CU Gold will be able to still close it out.
And this is the play for Big Criteria. Okay, so he finds Dakota freely. I was about to say, and this trade never gets there. The shot punch was the attempt, but the drop shot is apparently just a touch better in this instance. So now you've got Colorado. I mean, not to say they didn't earn their first 2 round wins, but that was the more concrete one that they've had so far. No 1v4s are needed to win. And Andrew's still playing really well, man. He's 7-4. Bugs, since he found his ace, has only found a single kill thus far. But for Oklahoma State, a little bit more of the even sharing across the kill feed. Big Criteria, aggressive hit. Oh my goodness, this is going to find Royal completely off guard. No one watched the A lane, and they get punished. Colorado, opportunity to maybe get this bomb down at A quickly.
Cash does get the trade here onto Andrew. So you've lost one of your assault rifle players, and they know that the attack was coming over towards A, so everyone should be in position as you see player 2 backing all the way up here on that mini map to be able to actually watch that site in full. But things starting to swing back over towards this right lane, and Bugs will be able to get information on one. That nade just gonna fall a little bit short and does not finish off the kill. So both teams still with 3 players on each side. Ezio trying to work for it, but does get heard potentially here through that wall, and Cash will now find his second in the round.
And I'm not gonna lie, I think that like my only criticism that I have right now is I would just love to see Big Criteria playing a little bit more aggressive when the ARs for Colorado are trying to take the plane. He's largely, whenever we're watching a bomb push over to B, he hasn't really been here. And you need that SMG to be the vanguard. It's one of those things that I kind of think about this back to like when Enable played for 100 Thieves. Everyone was tearing him apart because he was running that entry SMG and his KD was like 0.8. He's sliding in for the whole team. So the fact that he's getting 0.8 KD while being the first guy in is actually pretty damn good. And that's kind of the role that I'm looking at for Colorado. If you're going to run 3 ARs, one of your SMG needs to be that first guy in. Even if you have to be okay just getting the being in and not finding anything at all. Because you have to open the door for your teammates to storm through, especially when you've got 2 Krigs and an M4, which I believe they're set up currently.
Cash has been so good in this plan again. Coming back to that plan I made a couple rounds ago. I mean, no one's even really contesting it, but that is a little bit too aggressive, I think, for Cash. So he does throw his life away, and Bugs actually finds 2 kills with that Semtex. No trophy down. I know we got 3. I don't know who just got that 4th kill here, but Bugs certainly should be taking home the final kill cam, and he will as he finds Cash and just gets a very well-placed Semtex in.
We love cinematic Semtexes. Oh, it's this threads the needle. Dakota was tagged. Oh, he tags up both players. So the Krig nearly got it done individually because he tagged the first one up heavy. And then he grabs Dakota also as he tries to chow for the double peek. And the Semtex shuts that play down. And all of a sudden, Colorado up now 4-3. Even though Cash, like you mentioned, has been taking things over 10-5. Bugs and Andrew, maybe just a touch better. Long range shots under Royal. Very wisely backs down. Desperate Semtex to come through, will not tag. Ezio with the bomb for Colorado. They're going to make a play over towards A, and this is where Royal has been responsible for. He was taken down off of his aggressive angle last round. This time much more passive. Will he read the intel that this hit's going to come to A?
This bomb has been brought over towards A so many times now in these offensive rounds. And you said it, Royal needs to give his team the information if they do decide to make that move. But it's Cash, holy, just obliterated here from Bugs. Reads it, gets the kill. Andrew will find the second. The AR stepping it up once again. They have playing control, and they just need to bring this bomb over and get this down as fast as possible.
Clearing their zone still. Bomb will be planted at B. Dakota going to have to work this with Royal from opposite angles. See one down low. There's the first kill, but Royal loses his life. The trade coming out from Bugs. Beautiful timing. I mean, I'm not lying. This is some pretty darn good search and destroy from Colorado. Outside of the 1v and the 4-man ace, I mean, the rounds, these last 4 rounds have been pretty darn good.
I like the adaptation of just bringing the bomb over towards the A site, just giving them options. It seems like it's really, weird, I think, in a lot of cases to try and look for these A plants, but it's the fact that you're drawing one person away to actually dedicate themselves to watching it here. That's taking away some pressure elsewhere here from the power position. So yeah, it's been very, very interesting, and it's worked out quite well for them. But CU Gold, I think this is where they've really struggled. They haven't exactly found a whole lot of offensive pressure, and it's mainly because they can't get a whole lot done inside of the plane, and they lose their bomb carrier here, but it will be just trades on both sides. Dakota will even the odds up as he actually grabs himself 2, or rather gives his team the advantage, maybe even 3. Big Criteria over aggressive, will throw his life away, and Dakota's going to punish 3.
I was about to say the only way that I see Oklahoma State coming back into this matchup is they need to get some better long-range pressure. You know, Jinja was great with the 74U on Crossroads, but he's largely been running the Krig this entire time, and he's just 2 and 6. And up until those last 3 kills from Dakota, he will find 1 kill and then get traded. Whereas we've got players like Bugs who's on 5 in a row. And, you know, I actually don't know this as a fact. I don't know if we're allowing the same rule set when it comes to the score streaks. I was going to say he could be playing for streaks right now, but I don't see score streaks on the right side. So I think we're hearing from production that they are banned out right now. So I don't know if that's something that'll change in the future, but that is a little bit of a difference as far as what we're seeing in challengers in the CDL, at least from right now versus the CCL here in this opening week.
I think Dakota also got, what, 3 out of 4 here, I think, Alan? Just finds himself, you know, another big round. It seems like a lot of these S&D rounds have actually just come down to like one individual stepping it up. It's not like it's the same individual from each team. It's a bunch of different individuals that are having some big moments. So we're seeing, like you said, just a lot of great gameplay being played for as far as these teams. It's just actually an ace does come through as we see all 4 kills there from Dakota. So he just goes absolutely ham. We've had so many aces. I think the most amount of aces come through in this search and destroy that I've seen casting so far in towards Cold War. A lot of individuals being able to do this. And look at the challenge here from Andrew. He's clearly feeling himself. Won't be able to find the kill, but will back down Dakota there from the power position.
Yeah, Tetris is such a key position for the defense. Not only do you lock down the entire lane of the map, but you actually get a little bit of an angle on towards that B cross as well. So you might not be able to get a kill, but you can at least let your SMG player, hey, hit's coming. Get up, get ready. So we'll see how this is all going to unfold because Andrew's trying to continue to contest, but the bomb is actually over towards A. And where's Royal standing right now? He's like on top of the bomb. He is on top of the bomb. He's got a 74U. Just play the close corner. Criteria. Do you shall this? He does. Gets the information. The secondary's there. Royal finds the kill. No trade. Regen, is it going to be good? Yes. Ezio's right here. 30 seconds to play, and you need to get Royal off this bomb site right now.
Jinja does have his back, so it's almost just watching cross for cross. It could work out, and it's not going to be an A execute whatsoever. They have to move over towards B. Cash has played this angle so many times. Dakota finds him. Cash finds one of the 2. Ezio needs the challenge in. Will does bring home the shot punch. Needs to drop the bomb immediately, and it looks like he will be able to get this down. No one's going to go for that immediate contest. Royal and Dakota now need to try and pin down Ezio as he actually manages to get away.
Surely we don't see another 1v3 situation. Okay. It was funny because you were talking about, you're right, we have not seen this many aces and big number 1v multiple clutches yet through Cold War, at least not that we've casted, but like it just reminds me, like whenever we get to like early season or late season things, like I'm thinking back to like Dashy Frequency Search and Destroy during the Throwback Tournament, multiple collabs that we had. It's just like we bring something special in the air when it comes to Search and Destroy, I feel like at times, and this is absolutely one of those moments. But we've got a round 11.
We do.
So after all of the fireworks, what will the grand finale be here? Not to say it's a must win for Colorado, but you would hate to see a 1v4 and then immediately followed by a 4-man ace and a search and destroy lead to your disfavor. With Dakota on 5 kills in a row, Royal switching to the 74, you found a lot of value, and it's going to have to be on Colorado to figure out what they want to do offensively. It's going to be a 3-man stack to A, and Royal, once again, is going to play close. Fool me once, shame on me, but fool me twice, shame on you. 1v1 they go, 3v3 for the next 70 seconds.
What a snap-on criteria, just opening up A, and they have the opportunity to push through. The problem is player 6 that does manage to push up here, Ezio. He has the bomb, so he doesn't want to give his life away and make too risky of a play and drop that bomb in the spawn, but this puts everyone here in an awkward spot for Oklahoma State. They're forced to back up. They don't know where these players could have possibly gotten to, but things have just come to a stop here, as they're just waiting to see if they might get another pick. And well, Ezio, he does not read the player in the back, and Jinja will give his team a man advantage.
Oh, Ezio! Porque Ezio? Need to find a way. Get this bomb back, 33 seconds. Cash gonna hit a little bit. Not able to find the initial kill. Bugs! What a response that is, but the trade from Dakota is good. Criteria. 1v2. Dakota topside Tetris. His position's now revealed, but he's gonna get the favorable gunfight. 20 seconds to play. He's on the opposite side of the map, though, from the bomb. Regen's gonna be there. knows that Jinja was playing somewhere over by Bay, but he is repositioned. There's going to be just barely enough time for him to grab this bomb and stick for a plant, and Jinja's not in a position to contest this.
Jinja has an AR. You can see how slow he's playing this. He knows now. Bomb has gone down at A. He watched that cross back, and he should have the info. Big criteria, has to be very careful, but shots are taken a little prematurely. So Jinja gives his position away, and big criteria just trying to hold and hug the angle. 30 seconds left. AR burst the sub. Jinja needs to make a move, and the move's about to come. Big criteria with the challenge, but Jinja Ninja jumps down on him, puts him to bed, and will secure the round 11.
Unbelievable final 1v1. Oh my goodness. Look, Austin, if we get matches like this all the way throughout the year, I'll be a happy boy. Very happy boy. And that happy boy will grow up to be a happy man. This is so fun, man. Unbelievable. What a good search and destroy. It is not just because it goes round 11, but again, both teams played some pretty solid search and destroy through and through. So with that, you have to look up top. Oklahoma State currently up 2-0 after what was a pretty darn convincing Crossroads hardpoint, 250-180. It goes to round 11. Fireworks all over the place, making it look like the 4th of July out there. But we got checkmate control coming up next. We'll send things to a brief pause between map 2 and map 3. When we come back, we'll be loading into checkmate control. Do not go anywhere. It's the first day of CCL Season 3. We love it. Welcome back there, friends and family. We've had ourselves one heck of a series thus far. 2 maps, both electric for multiple reasons, but at the end of it, it's Oklahoma State currently up 2-0. Again, inaugural day here when it comes to the CCL Season 3. A lot on the line because you already mentioned it, Austin. Every match is going to matter here this week, and not just with this week, but in the entirety of the season. Checkmate control, though, coming up next for us. Again, just coming off the checkmate search and destroy. This is where we can kind of go back to that same easy talking point where you control the plane, you're controlling likely the map in your favor as well.
And that's exactly right. I mean, when we're talking about that, on the other hand, you can have a pretty nice influence with the ARs being able to open up these lanes. And we have seen a lot of that here from both of these squads, right? Coming through with some of these aces and being able to at least display what they're capable of doing with the assault rifles, the XM4s, the Kriegs, whatever they're looking to kind of bring out here for us going in towards the matchup. So, I mean, that's what I think you're heavily relying on here if you're CU Gold. We haven't exactly seen the subs been able to always do it per se. And I think more often than not, I think some of the AR players that have at least been on Showcase so far have been pretty strong. So it's looking at these individuals to see if they might be able to kind of carry their squad back. You can't be too down, I think, about the last 2 maps because the first map, extremely close, just came down to one full hill that you were unable to break. The second map was just a lot of clutch up moments, maybe not the best teamwork coming through for as far as trades and whatnot for us. So I think you don't have to be too down if you're CU Gold, but you definitely have to be bringing it to a different tempo, a different level if you're going to be able to start creating this reverse sweep.
Okay, well, that's what's on the table here. We'll see what unfolds. It's going to be CU Gold needing to find a way to get that reverse sweep online. Big criteria. Maybe we were a bit critical as far as how much attention was he really playing to the middle of the map. This time, he will make sure he is able to get up top, but unfortunately, he only takes down 1 kill, and that would be Oklahoma State in a really nice position as they will get over towards A, but Andrew now swapping back to the 74U finds a couple of good return kills, and that will lead to that progress at A being completely halted.
Yeah, Andrew with a great flex play coming through. Was expecting the AR, but he can do it with the sub too. Now it's going to be on Royal. Trying to see if he can battle over his Bugs. Doesn't know where he is. Bugs holds that position, plays his life, tucks himself away back in that corner as Andrew also trying to push on through to see if he can cut off the spawners. But Dakota, he's going to relieve a lot of this pressure here on the attack as he finds himself 2. And now the reinforcements as Dakota manages to find 3 with a hot 5-1 start.
I won't lie, I was about to say, you know, with CU Gold pulling out so many ARs and what we saw from Dakota in map 1, I was a bit surprised that he was getting, not necessarily body, but he was being contested as heavily as he was, because this is what we saw from him during the hard point, where he's just finding kill after kill after kill. Royal on the other side of the map did the exact same thing. Challenge coming forward, Bugs nearly drops it, but he will be traded. So 27 seconds, and Oklahoma State is a little bit all over the place. Yeah, you're enjoying a 5-life lead, but you need to extend this clock another 60 seconds if you want to see those kills turn into anything.
You got to stop the clock here. I mean, right away, 18.4 seconds left. You said it. They have the lives, but I mean, you just take one wipe here. That could be enough to be able to at least take away the very first defense. But Jinja and Dakota, they have been able to get themselves at least on the point. Dakota with great help here. Jinja keeping his life will still be alive to help get that third tick, and that might just be a chalk up coming through here for CU Gold, and rightly so. They want to just turn all their attention over towards this B zone as that extra minute does end up going through.
All right, now it comes down to CU Gold. They have to be able to control space. Make sure you're not getting spawn trapped. And I'm looking really at big criteria and Andrew to do that because they are the ones running the SMGs, and we already talked so largely about why the plane is so important. Bugs, watching a cross actually from Oklahoma State spawn. Maybe an opportunity here. Royal gonna jump check it. No problem there. They find the kill in Oklahoma State. They not just find themselves a couple of kills, they also find themselves on top of the B zone.
Lives now are actually an issue. If you can continue to stall this clock and find kills, might be enough to take it away. Big gunfight here from Cash, gets some assistance. Bugs, though, with an answer back. Royal forced in a real tough position, and Andrew is going to do him dirty, gives him the turn, and will be able to take him down. Now just 2 lives here for CU Gold, but they're able to stabilize a bit. They have good mid-map control. A lot of the lanes are being covered and watched, and Cash is going to lose that battle inside the plane as they start to set up that next attack.
Look, take the lives out of it. It's just down to the last 25 seconds. All you need is one good wipe if you're a Colorado Boulder, and you're in a position to where you can actually steal this defense away. Clock will now be stalled. You need to wait for these last 4 members to come through. Netzio takes care of Royal. He can contest this zone pretty nicely. Tagged up a bit, but big criteria is there to help, and Andrew's clearing space. Colorado, how have you done this? It's Royal. No, not going to be able to find the kill there. Ezio, try to stay alive, waiting for Bugs to watch his cross, and how successful has this been? One more attempt for Oklahoma State. Dakota will get on, immediately gets punished. Ezio for 3, 1 second, onto the site goes Jinja, and he's able to stall. Not gonna find the second kill, and Bugs, he can wait for the regen. 1.5 on the clock, it's a 1v2. Making his way forward, Royal takes the jump peek, just barely able to get the elimination, and Oklahoma State with a 1.5 seconds on the clock, just barely hang on to their offense.
Oh, we get another look at these final moments kind of taking place for us. I mean, Ezio, he was doing just such a phenomenal job playing his life and just weaving in and out of cover, making sure he's not overextending. He's not trying to greed for more than 1 kill at a time. And he does play his life well enough. Bugs just forced into what is right here a 1v3 for him. And he manages to grab 1 of the 3 players. But it is just a last second touch that manages to come in, keeps that clock stalled out for them. That was just another too close for comfort moment now. And I feel like that has really been just the entire story of this series for us, where it has come down to the wire so many times, and it does once again here in the very first one.
Colorado Gold, they're just really digging deep when it matters, aren't they? Bugs, unfortunately, takes down one of his teammates, so that technical kill fit is a 2-for-1 the opposite way in favor of Oklahoma State. And how about it? OK State is pushing right on into Boulder's spawns, trying to find as many kills as possible. You can tell that's definitely been one of their focuses, and Andrew's trying to roam to clear a little bit of this energy. He'll find Royal for free. Now turns attention over towards A. Cash is going to challenge him from the lane. 1v1, and Cash takes it. Pressure alleviated. Oklahoma State's defense in a great spot right now.
These subs keep on slipping through, and if Jinja finds this kill and plays his life, they're going to be in a hurt of trouble, but they will be able to grab it. Cash now will just replicate exactly what his teammates are doing, almost combines for that second, but Bugs will be able to take him down. Still with 47 seconds, finally they're going to be able to get themselves on top of the zone, and they're actually going to choose to try and attack B here, see if they can maybe work for that first tick. Bugs not reading the push through in from behind, so he dies off screen as we switch POVs. Big criteria, he loses every single one of his teammates on the map. He's now forced to see if he can try and relieve some pressure, finding these kills that are slowly moving in. But I mean, this is just Oklahoma State just finding kills, pushing up, and continuing to tuck themselves away and then pop out when they find the kills. Yeah,
it really is like guerrilla warfare, isn't it? It's like you hold the power position. As soon as you think the respawns are coming, you let your SMGs poke freely. You get a couple of kills, you run right back, you do it all over again. Ezio, big criteria, making their way through the middle of the map. But it looks like they do want to try to make their way over to B. The clock will stall. Colorado need to be better than they have been so far, and they need to do it almost immediately. Dakota on the cross. Nobody saw it. He finds 1 kill. Needs to be a second. Bugs nearby. Okay, that's actually not bad. A 4-for-2 exchange right there for Colorado. They not just get progress and a full 60 here from the B zone, but they've also reduced that life count pretty dramatically, to be fair.
They have. I mean, they're only down just a full wipe. That's not bad whatsoever. And they've also gotten a more difficult zone here as Ezio will unfortunately take down one of his teammates while going for the fire. The nade might get it done as well and will trade things off. But big criteria here on the pinch, won't be able to find any value. Cash just gets there in time. Jinja is already pushed up, watching all the respawners moving in. So now CU Gold are a little bit low on lives with only about 47 seconds left.
But they have the plane. And if you can find a good wipe, you can triple stack and at least get 2 ticks of progress and really force Oklahoma State to make a play. That's what literally in my mind needs to happen. Here comes the hit towards A. Dakota watching over the top. Good for 1 kill. Is there going to be a trade? No, because the help from the side is incredible. Jinja, Cash, come to help out their main AR, and they get a full wipe, and now all of a sudden the Buffaloes have no respawns remaining.
Cash is pushed up, looking to finish it off here for them. Jinja ends up finding that second. Dakota now just needs to see if he can keep anyone from getting on the zone. And well, he might even find the last 2 kills, gets assistance in the end. But Oklahoma State here, Alan, they are locking things down. They are clutching up, going big. Everything is coming through for them here as Cash goes massive on that pinch from the middle of the map and ends up cleaning everyone up on that final attempt.
Yeah, you know, for the Cowboys, we talked largely about, you know, their roster from last year really showed a lot of progress. And I believe this is the only team that they have, you know, they're fielding here. And for Colorado, I think this is actually their 2nd team. I could be completely wrong. It's going to be really hard to keep track of all the different teams and their A's and B teams. Let's be honest, there's so many of them. But regardless, you know, I have to give a lot of credit to Oklahoma State because they are playing a very controlled game of control. But what they're doing, again, that little guerrilla warfare that we saw, while, again, they were trying to contest the initial, both the control zones, was just so good. Now Jinja, mid-map, trying to work his way through, playing him and Cash together. We'll go just 2 for 2. So for the Buffalo of Colorado, looking not too bad. Andrew's able to find a couple of kills as well. So really everything all dead even so far through the opening break.
30 seconds already gone by as well. We always got to keep coming back to the fact that this clock is slowly ticking down. Dakota, he's waiting and is doing the right move at the moment for his teammates to hopefully find some kills. And it's a massive stack in the plane. You see all yellow just in and around. We'll see Andrew smoking Dakota there as they're trying to wait to make that move. Royal was on the point there for a second. Will still work for the kill, but there has not really been a strong attempt and a strong pushing towards one of the sites just yet. It's been still a lot of chaos taking place, and we are now down to the final 37 seconds.
We do have Jinja number 2. He's actually going to zone out a lot of space, and that's actually going to be likely good enough for Oklahoma State to win over this A zone, but they're still playing for kills. And at a certain point, I know that the red dots, they look juicier than you might expect, but you got to get some time on the objective. No tick of progress anywhere as of yet. Royal's going to be able to find 1 elimination. That'll allow a first tick likely to come through here onto B, and good help from Cash because Andrew nearly just wiped the entirety of the zone by himself, but it's fine. Nice. Bugs will pick up where he left off. He'll find a couple of kills now, 16 and 17, and there's 15 seconds for Oklahoma State to make a play towards either of these control zones.
A lot of massive wins taking place on the objective right now, and it is just so low on time. Big criteria is here with his teammates to make sure no one will be able to get a touch. I mean, maybe one last attempt over towards A where they could still stop this clock. Ezio trying to cut that push down. He will be denied. Bugs now responsible for getting it done. He finds the first one, goes to the pistol for the second, almost the third. But Cash, he will stall the clock out there at 2.1 seconds, but not enough. CU Gold will be able to get themselves in, and they will grab that first round.
You know, I don't know if anybody in CCL content is looking to do like a top fails of the week, but that's just like the biggest feels bad I think I've ever seen. Cash, he wins such a good 1v2, and you think he's going to be able to just sit here and stall the clock a little longer, and then tosses a nade right into a trophy system and kills himself.
Oh, I didn't even notice that while calling. Oh, man. I was so confused. I was like, did I miss call? Tough. I don't know what happened.
No, that's just real tough. You know, it's been interesting. I don't know if you've noticed this at all, kind of watching through scrims or some of the CDO kickoff event. A lot of players, since there's no smokes and all that, like we're actually seeing a lot more engineer being picked up.
Yeah,
as one of the perks, just to try to watch out for those trophy systems. How about this round, Andrew? No one even sniffed him. He's going to be able to come right behind this play. He's just chasing Jinja. That should be the time for the kill, and it is. Never saw Dakota, though, so that's a lot of space. I mean, that was Oklahoma State going 2 for 2 and saying, we want to be in your spawn, and now all of a sudden, they're a little bit caught out, while Colorado is able to get onto the save zone, not just for 1 tick of progress, we're going to get a second.
FO is going to get hit from the side, so he ends up falling down, but you already said it there, Alan. They get some decent progress through. However, the problem is now Dakota is in your spawn. Cash also right behind him. They'll find 2 out of the 4 that come hot off that spawn here for themselves. And Dakota might be able to keep chipping away at life. Bugs will be able to at least take him out. So they will relieve a bit of the pressure in the spawn, but still coming down to the clock. They're going to have to make another attempt back over towards A, and it starts with middle map control. But Jinja, he has got that unlock here at the moment as he's waiting for that push to unfold.
Oh, nice play from Jinja. Oklahoma State taking away a lot of the map right now, but the one player they've missed is Andrew. He can stall the clock, and he needs to. Because not only is this stalling the clock, but with 2 ticks of progress, Oklahoma State actually have to send numbers back to deal with this, which will provide a 1v1 for the zone, but more importantly, it takes a number away from this spawn trap that's in place. So that's the right call for Andrew. If he wins that 1v1, he'll also give his team 90 seconds to continue to play with, but now they're in a 20 respawn to 8 disadvantage. It's going to have to be something miraculous here, Austin. And Ezio, he'll open up some space to get through. Jinja found himself a Craig, trying to play with this. Likely has a 74 in the back pocket. There's the challenge. And even though Andrew finds the kill from behind, again, the respawn's just not all that great. Oklahoma State looking to go 3-1 and take a 3-0 in the series.
This was just so dominating. When it comes down to the defense, there is just so many slippery players like Cash on your screen, doubling up here in the end, being able to get through and chip away at those lives. There really was just a different type of control here on Control from the boys over on Orange, just being able to constantly push all the way through, find these massive multi-kills, play their lives, and then have that teamwork on top of it that just really kind of put the cherry on top here to clean things up. But that was really an excellent series all around. I mean, that really was exciting from start to finish. Maybe a 3-0 for as far as the score count for what you'll see, but did not tell the whole story. That search and destroy, I mean, in particular, Alan, that was just one that I might even go back and watch because there were some crazy moments that took place there for us, even after watching it already.
Feel a little hot and bothered over there with some of the stuff that we saw today. But again, this is going to lead to a 3-0. Again, 250-180 the Crossroads hard point. Oklahoma State, just a really nice job with their SMGs finessing around P1. That really, for me, was the difference of that game overall.
Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't just the fact that they found at least 3/4 of P1 every single time we went there. But of course, if they continue to win the first hard point, they're going to be in a good position to get over to 2 much quicker. And that was the case. I think that led to that 70-point differential. Round 11 comes through after Colorado Gold. They were in a really interesting position, winning a 1v4, a 4-man ace that was a 1v3. You thought that Colorado was going to find a way to take it away, but Oklahoma State says not so fast, and then a very convincing checkmate Control. So this is the Southwest region that we're in, Division A. That's where we kicked off everything for the CCL, and it will lead to Colorado Gold falling 0-1 and Oklahoma State being in a pretty solid spot, not just 1-0, but also with a 3-0 map count. Good stuff for them, even though these 3 maps were pretty darn close visions.
Yeah, it was a great time, man. It's just like I was saying it on the kickoff. Like, I'm just glad we're back into the league scene here for us. It's just so exciting to watch these guys go head to head, and it's great looks at some of these, maybe new rising stars might be coming in towards play here for us. Yeah, great time all around.
Well, we're going to send things here to a break because, let's be honest, we've got more to come. Coming up next, it's going to be the Illini Blue team going up against Roosevelt Green. Taking the action for us, it's going to be Proper with McCormill, and then we'll be back for you guys to take the final match of the evening, which is a battle for Colorado. Colorado State playing up against Colorado Boulder Black. That should be an interesting one to cap off our first night. But we're going to send things to a pause, switch things up. We'll be back with match number 2 after this break.